世界嘅香港，大家好！依家晚上7點鐘香港時間。今日咧好開心咧，就同一位我認識咗有幾年嘅朋友啦。咁佢係一位獨立記者，係嚟自日本。咁之前咧佢係一位急症科醫生 Ken。咁佢會同我哋講下咧香港嘅問題啦，一齊去再探討。咁亦都好感恩一樣嘢咧，就係咧經歷咗10幾個鐘嘅大雪揸車咧，本來10個鐘咧就可以去到華盛頓，咁就而家揸12個鐘咧，就行程去咗2/3，因為太大雪啦，亦都有成10幾架車喺個公路嗰度咧係跌咗落個 ditch 度，咁都要慢慢揸啦。咁就希望今日中午之前去到華盛頓。咁今日個訪問咧，個互動咧，我哋都會用咧英文同埋廣東話咧一齊做嘅。So welcome, Ken. It's good to have you back. And for this dialogue, we have to do it like half in Cantonese and half in English, just to let the audience know what's going on. And I just mentioned it takes a whole lot longer than usual from Atlanta, Georgia, to go to Washington, D.C. I'm just 2/3 of the way because of the snowstorm. I'm kind of stuck in a hotel right now, but I have to keep moving at my 6:30, which is 20 minutes from now. But thank you for joining. Now, maybe I'll just say something for 1 minute and I'll let you give the opinion. I will talk about what's going on in the last 6 months. Basically, it's talking about the dismantling of everything, from Apple Daily to Stand News to Citizen News to all the massive arrests. I'm going to summarize it in 30 seconds and I'll let you give your opinion. 咁我今日想同阿 Ken 傾啦 ，Ken 係一位獨立嘅日本媒體記者啦。咁我認識佢嘅時候咧，喺2019年嘅自由之下喺香港，咁佢好關注香港嘅人權狀況啦。佢之前一位急症科醫生，咁就依家係獨立記者，了解到即係香港嗰個問題其實係自逃犯條例修訂到依家開始。咁收聽得 OK 嘅話，亦都想希望啲觀眾話俾我哋聽下。咁我同阿 Ken 咧之前咧都講過，自《蘋果日報》、立場新聞同埋咧眾新聞咧係冇咗之後咧，香港已經失去咗個新聞自由。咁亦都即係嗰100幾名嘅國安法，同埋接近1000名咧係被告暴動或者係其他嘅集結罪嘅一啲香港人咧，其實咧係希望有嘅嘢咧就係一個特赦嘅。Okay. I'm just talking about some clergymen asking for also like some sort of an amnesty, some sort of a pardon to over 1,000 people who were alleged to be having riots, and also under the national security law, more than 100 people are alleged to be in violation of this law, so to speak. Yeah. So I'll let you speak for a few minutes, Ken, because you have been following Hong Kong and also you have been following China. So here you go, Ken. Your time.
When I joined the Hong Kong protest in 2019, we put the slogan that said, "Today's Hong Kong, tomorrow's Taiwan." But very unfortunately, now we have to say that yesterday's Hong Kong, today's Taiwan. And we all have to admit that the fact we are actually in the state of war. And this war was launched by China. And as I said last time, this coronavirus was man-made. It was created in the laboratory in China and spread to the world intentionally. As you can see, most affected countries are United States and United Kingdom and France or Germany. All those countries are supposed to be enemies for China. So now they have planned to weaken the power of those Western countries to buy time to strengthen their military power to overtake the power of the US Army. And they have a proper plan to take over Taiwan following Hong Kong. And they will, I think they are going to take some military action after the Olympics 2020 Beijing. So now is the time we all have to open our eyes to the reality and unite together to fight against this evil regime of China.
You think that there will be military action after the Beijing Olympics?
Yeah.
Now, this is your opinion. Of course, I am interviewing you as an interviewer. Aren't we already in a war of sorts, this COVID war? Because a lot of people talk about the origin of the COVID, right? Back from 2 years ago. Aren't we already in some sort of biological warfare? Are you talking about a real war going on, Ken? Or are we talking about, just still playing diplomacy of sorts?
This armed battle will happen very soon. Not only the viral wars, biological wars, but they are also planning to launch the armed battles as well.
Armed battle.
Armed battle. Yeah, but at this moment, they know they cannot cope with the power of the U.S. Army. So now they are just buying the time using the coronavirus.
Right. Now, this is one theory. Let me just say it very shortly in Cantonese. Ken Maruka 係一位獨立記者，佢之前都講緊係急症科醫生喺日本。佢嘅諗法咧就係咧喺北京奧運之後咧將會有戰爭，就呢個唔係一個生化戰，係講緊一個實體嘅戰爭將會出現。So if it is like a real war, Ken, are you saying this will be World War III of sorts?
Yes, but now against the intention of CCP, they made many enemies in the world. Now many countries realize the evil of China, the human rights violations, what they are doing inside the country. So now is the time we all democratic countries unite together to fight against this evil country.
Well, this is something, of course, one theory that we all talk about, but we all want to avoid war, right? Now, you are Japanese, I am a Hong Konger, for sure, right? Who spent a lot of time in the US and Canada. We all want to avoid war. We remember in World War II what happened to Hiroshima. We know what happened to Germany, right? War, it's terrible. Is there any way we could avoid it? First World War, millions of lives were lost. The Cultural Revolution in China, that was bad. The Great Famine was bad. I mentioned Second World War. Japan, Germany also learned a lesson. It's painful. China, we know that to a lot of people, it's in violation of what happened in the 1984, the Joint Declaration, one country, two systems. Where is it now? The people who are vocal, people who support democratic values, they are all locked up in jail. But of course, the problem is not just a Hong Kong problem. The problem is much bigger. And that's why I am traveling in many different places telling the Hong Kong story since a few months ago. And of course, I still have my daytime job, but I'm spending a lot of time doing what I'm doing now. And thank you for doing what you are doing. And I don't want to explain what you are doing. It's a lot of what you are doing. I guess, Ken, one thing though, you think we could avoid a real war to end all this, or is it's like an armed battle inevitable?
Yeah, practically, I think it's difficult because, as you understand, the CCP does not have human souls, human consciousness, human conscience, right? They are very, very merciful. They can do anything to achieve their goal. Yeah. So I think practically it will be difficult, but only way to defeat CCP peacefully is just to contain China.
Contain China.
Yeah, with the cooperation of all other countries. And key country is Russia. So Western countries should reconcile with Russia. Yeah. And if Russia can be our members, we will be able to pressurize China without any armed forces.
Let me say something in Cantonese. Ken Maruka 覺得一個實體戰係難以避免。我希望唔係，因為 I hate war as someone in business. I hate all kinds of war, to be honest. I believe in negotiation, but it seems like that what's going on now with the COVID, Omicron, a lot of people got infected. This is some sort of a biological warfare already. Now, if it is like a real war, do you think that would happen in 2022? If
I guess some military action will happen around the East China Sea.
If what?
Around Taiwan, there will be some military action this year.
This year?
Yeah, this year.
Then we have to be very prepared if that's the case.
Yeah. And if in the United States, if still there is Trump, he will start the war against China. But unfortunately, Biden is very, very indecisive, and he doesn't know who is the true enemy of humankind.
Okay, so you believe that war with Taiwan, do you think China can overtake Taiwan very easily?
No, it's not very easy, but because China already made many enemies in the world. But they have proper intention to take over Taiwan, and next Okinawa and Japan.
To take over Okinawa
after Taiwan.
After Taiwan,
yeah.
Because it's at the southern tip, so it's easier strategically.
Yeah. And Japan.
But do you think Japan will defend together with the other Five Eyes countries? I know the Australian fleet and even the Canadian. Canadian fleet, which is very old. They were like doing some sort of a exercise, military exercise too, right? To protect that region.
But so far, the military power of China cannot compete with those Western countries if we all allied.
Do you think a nuclear war would happen? Because North Korea is like little brother of the regime.
So, yeah, it depends on the timing. If the war happened now, China won't be able to win. But they are now increasing their military power year by year. So after 10 years or 15 years or 20 years, we don't know what will happen. Nuclear war can happen. So before that, we have to defeat this evil regime.
I know, like you have a bigger agenda than me. Like as Hong Kong, I just think more about what happened to the thousands of people who are now detained, and I think about what happened to the journalists at Apple Daily. I think more from a humanitarian perspective. I pray for Joshua Wong and all those, Jimmy Lai, Benny Tai, people that you met in 2019 when you were doing reporting in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
This is in violation of one country, two systems. And we all want at least the Deng Xiaoping 1.0 model. This is what the CCP promised. And of course, there's a reason why I still say this, because I believe in, to a certain extent, compromise. The two Michaels, when they get out, it's a very complicated, sophisticated compromise negotiation process. And the two Michaels get out in exchange for the Huawei CFO, right? But this is talking about thousands of people and more than 100 of people that the totalitarian regime doesn't like. But in a free world, these are like the normal people that could make Hong Kong great. Last but not least, Ken, and I gotta be on the road again. Hope the snow stops. Do you think Hong Kong would be free?
Yeah,
When I say
definitely.
free meaning like at least back to the one country, two systems Hong Kong. Do you think that would happen?
I'm very sad to see Hong Kong just become one of the cities of mainland. But please keep the light of hope in your mind. Hong Kong will be free, within 10 years, I believe. This evil country will be divided into several smaller countries in 10 years. And Tibet will get independence, Uyghur will get independence, and South Mongolia will get independence, and Hong Kong will be freed, together with the south part of China. Just like what happened to former Soviet Union, same thing will happen to China within 10 years. So we have to work together. But please persevere and try to survive in these 10 years.
Right. And, from a perspective as a Christian, I just hope that, the dictators of sorts, not really of sorts, but really the regime would listen to their former leader, Deng Xiaoping. I mean, created a model and then they violate that 1.0 model. And of course, there's nothing to look forward to for the families. A lot of them, they have been detained for nearly 1 year and then no charge, right? Then the judges in Hong Kong, they just play by the CCP's book, not common law anymore. That's really, really frustrating for a lot of people. And I want to say thank you, Ken, for your time. I know you are currently in the UK, and last but not least, may I show, this is just a partial list, Ken. Maybe you recognize some of the Chinese characters of the people who were detained.
Yeah. Many of them I know.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Yeah.
So they should be freed immediately.
Yeah, they should be free.
Yeah.
And thank you. And please, for those listeners who listen to our program, please support our program in whatever way. Through Patreon is a good way to support our production. And we hope Hong Kong will be free someday. Thank you, Ken, for your time.
Please have hope.